is when you're doing any kind of back bend, I don't really like the terminology back bend. I know that we probably all have a pretty good understanding of the spine, and we don't want to bend and compress vertebrae together. So I prefer, when I'm talking about back bends, I actually call them front stretches, because that's more in line with what we're doing. But I'm just going to hop right into the stretching that I'm doing for my thoracic spine. So I love me a good doorway because it takes out any possibility of cheating, or at least really limits it. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to press my hips up against the doorway, I'm going to press my ribs up against the doorway. This makes it so that I'm relatively neutral in my back. From here, I hope you can see it, maybe I should put my hair up, at least to the side. Okay, so from here, I want to keep my hips and my rib cage on the doorway at all times. I'm going to come up. I'm going to bring my arms back as far as they can go. And I'm just going to warm up by kind of pulsing here. Bringing the arms back as far as they will possibly go. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold it. 3, 2, 1. All right, so now I'm going to add my neck into it. So I was holding my head straight up and down, really just working with the shoulders. The thoracic spine is up in this area, upper back. So we're going to start bending using that upper back in the stretch as well. Same thing, we're just allowing the entirety of our upper body this time, not just our arms. So we're going to marry our hips and ribs to the doorway. Hands are up, muscles are engaged. I'm going to come back. I'm going to feel my ribs climb up, front stretching up the wall or the doorway. I'm going to keep on going. Let's pulse. Only go as far down as you can come up. Feeling those ribs against the door and the hips against the door. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Coming up. Okay, so next we're going to get ourselves a broomstick. So I took the weighted edge or the sweepy edge off of my broomstick, and you can do this with a doorway as well, just to, if you don't trust yourself, to keep it checked in and keep your spine neutral. If you're somebody who kind of shears their ribs, which means they're poking out, and dump into your lower back, which means that your lower back is, you got your little tail feather sticking out, then do it against a doorway. I find that my doorway is just a little too narrow on this one. It's not a standard size. So I'm going to come out. I'm going to have my hands about shoulder width apart. I'm just going to show you the back here. So keeping my hips and ribs checked in, I'm going to be engaging the shoulders. You can play around here, see what gets you feeling good. Another one that I really have been enjoying is in my narrow doorway. Standard doorway is a little too big for me for this one, and I'm just going to try to... There. So I've got my little narrow doorway. I'm bringing my arms up with my broomstick. I'm coming down, and then I'm trying to bring my chin onto the doorway. Oops. Got my My floor is uneven, so I have a mat that I've put down just to keep my hips level and, you know, practice well. So, arms come up, I come down. Try to get my chin on. Now that's more of a passive stretch, so you want to make sure that your back is nice and warmed up before you get to that one. From there, you can make it a bit more of an active stretch by coming down, chin on, and then trying to lift your arms back. Not easy. And then whatever you do one way, you want to do the other way. So I'm also going to, and if you need the doorway to check yourself, do it. I'm going to come up. So keeping my ribs and hips checked in and coming up. And this is a small space I chose. And I'm going to hold it. 3, 2, 1.